What is going on, internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying, flyest looking team on YouTube. And we are here with our Week 6 battle of the ISL against the Mighty Monfernos and Coach Monk. This is going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alright guys, we are here breaking down our matchup against Mighty Monfernos and Coach Monk for the Week 6 of the ISL. Just a brief note, last week there were some scheduling issues, a little bit of conflict or whatever, so we ended up claiming a forfeit win over our opponent, pushing us to 5-0 on the season, plus 20 I believe. So we're moving right along, hoping to keep the winning streak alive, but we have a really tough opponent this week in the Mighty Monfernos and Coach Monk. And let's break down his team really quick. He's got Melmetal. Melmetal is an absolute destroyer of worlds. One of my favorite Pokemon to use. It is insane. With base 134 attack stat and defense, Double Iron Bash is a ridiculous move. If he's under Trick Room, it's even more ridiculous with a ridiculous chance to flinch. And it just gets so many good moves. Superpower, Earthquake, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. It runs Choice Band incredibly well. It runs Assault Vest incredibly well. It can run Protect sets with leftovers for a little bit of recovery and to check out what other opponents are going to do. So Melmetal kind of messes me up. I definitely think it'll come, and I have to be really wary of it. I have some decent checks to it, but I have to make sure I play them incredibly well so that I don't lose them. Next up, he's got Haxorus. Haxorus is an incredibly scary dragon type. It's a massive setup threat with Dragon Dance and Swords Dance. And Scale Shot, it's got a great move pool with stuff like Earthquake, Close Combat, and Poison Jab. I could definitely see a Dragon Dance set coming this match, or a Swords Dance set, because I don't really have super great checks to it. My fairies don't love handling with Haxorus, because it can run other moves that would kind of run it through, like Iron Head. So I have to be really careful about Haxorus this week. He's got Talonflame. Talonflame's a really fast and versatile fire and flying type. It's a great defog with the heavy-duty boots and an amazing speed tier at base 126. It can run both specially offensive and physical offensive sets. It can run stuff like Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, Acrobatics. It's a great U-turn pivot, or it can run stuff like Overheat. It does have a little bit of a cool move pool with stuff like Steel Wing, and then he can obviously run Flame Body for punishing pivoting, or he can run Gale Wings to bump up his priority with flying type moves if he's at max HP. I could see a Flame Body set this coming to try to dissuade Mega Beedrill from U-turning around in its face, although Poison Jabs would probably destroy that thing, so that's probably not a reliable check. He's got Vikavolt. Vikavolt's a great, super offensive and supporting bug and electric type. It sets sticky webs, and it can hit really hard with thunderbolts and volt switches and bug buzzes, coming off 145 special attack. It runs heavy duty boots really well. It can roost up for longevity, or it can just be a really offensive specs pivot. I definitely expect Vikavolt this week. I don't have a whole lot for its dual stab, and it really messes up stuff like Skarmory, which otherwise does a good chunk for his team. So I definitely think Vikavolt comes this week. He's got Scrafty. Scrafties are really cool and versatile dark and fighting type. Obviously that big weakness to Fairy might dissuade it from coming, as I do have 2 this week, but it does a ton of stuff really well. It runs Assault Vest incredibly well, has multiple really good abilities in Shedskin, Moxie, and Intimidate. It can set up with Bulk Up and Dragon Dance, and it has a fantastic move pool. Knock Off, Close Combat, the Elemental Punches. It gets a ton of great stuff, so I definitely have to watch out for Scrafty, even if I don't think it comes this week. And then he's got Leafeon. Leafeon I don't think comes. It's a pretty fast and defensive grass type with the Chlorophyll and Leaf Guard abilities. Skarmory hard shuts this thing down, so I definitely don't think it comes, but maybe if he's feeling weird with some sort of like specially offensive Weather Ball Sunset, I could see that maybe. So that'd be kind of scary, but I don't think he'd bring that. He's got Mega Manectric. Mega Manectric's a really fast pivot with Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Overheat, stuff like that. It does have the Intimidate ability to lower the attacking stats of some of my Pokemon, but it is rather frail, even with Intimidate, so I don't expect it to take any big hits. I don't really know if Mega Man comes. I definitely think that it's pretty solid in this match, but I think that Vikavolt is a better electric-type pivot, especially because it gives him the Sticky Webs option, and Energy Ball, because Gastro kind of hard shuts down Mega Manectric, but Vikavolt can just rip through it anyway. He's got Tapu Lele. Lele completely just destroys me. It's so strong with the Psychic Surge and Psychic and Psyshock in terrain. Moonblast is fantastic. Shadow Balls, Focus Blast, Thunderbolt, Energy Ball. I really don't have a whole lot for Lele. I have some cool tech. I'm hoping it works, but if it doesn't, that's what happens. So I could definitely see a Scarf Lele this week. to outpace Mega Beedrill, or just Specs because it just destroys me. But I have to be really careful about Lele. Next up, he's got Toxapex. Toxapex is incredibly bulky, a fantastic pivot with Regenerator, massive defenses, 152 and 142, I believe. It can Scald, it can knock off Haze, set Toxic Spikes, recover up safely. Baneful Bunker is a pretty cool signature move. So maybe he can bring like a Shukaberry variant to stop Mega Beedrill, or just like a Rocky Helmet set to pivot out, heal up, and stop my U-turns and Poison Jabs. So I could definitely see that coming. He's got Sandaconda. Sandaconda is a pretty bulky and cool ground type with the Sand Spit and Shed Skin abilities. I could see Sandaconda maybe just to set Stealth Rocks to punish Mega Beedrill, as I believe that's his only Stealth Rocker. But otherwise, Earthquakes hit really hard. He can glare stuff to slow them down. Yeah, he can make a Coil set with like Rest and Shed Skin, which could be really scary. But I think he's got a bunch of other mons that would fit the slots a little bit better than Sandaconda. But I could definitely still see it coming. And then last but not least, he's got Mismagius. Mismagius is a really cool Ghost type with the Levitate ability, 105 in special attack, special defense, and speed. It's got a great move pool, Shadow Ball, Power Gem, Thunderbolt. It can Nasty Plot up, which is pretty scary. And I think Mismagius has a really good chance of coming, just because Nasty Plot 3 attacks kind of messes me up. I don't have a whole ton for its coverage, and its speed tier is relatively solid this week, except for stuff like Blacephalon. So I could definitely see either like a Scarf Mismagius or a Nasty Plot 3 attacks Mismagius, and that would be really, really scary. So with that out of the way, let's hop into what I'm bringing this week. First off, we got Lerny. Lerny's leading us off this week, rocking a Choice Spec set, Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, and U-Turn. He doesn't have a whole lot for Specs Lerny this week, especially Dark Pulse. His answers to Dark Pulse are pretty much just like AV Scrafty, and I can U-turn on that pretty safely. But otherwise, I've got enough speed for Lele, and I'm looking, and Haxorus. And Draco's hit really hard. Dark Pulse, Earth Power is there for Pex, and then U-turn is just there for pivoting around his team. Next up, even though we didn't play last week, he's still the league kill leader. Windshear the Skarmory looking fantastic with a Rocky Helmet set, Body Press, Roost, Spikes, and Taunt. This is my primary answer to Melmetal, just because Rocky Helmet is going to punish that double Iron Bash really hard. If he's Choice Banned, then I can switch it on Thunder Punches safely, just because they'll do like up to 70% to me. But then I can Roost safely. He's locked into Thunder Punch, and it won't hit me for super effective because I lose my Flying type. If he's AV and he has Earthquake, then Thunder Punch won't do nearly enough to me. I can calc the damage, predict, maybe get into Larny, fire off a huge Dark Pulse, or into something else. So I'm really liking Windshear this week. I got Spikes to chip down stuff like Melm, because he doesn't have fantastic removal options. He has like Talonflame, which can remove, and it's going to be carrying the boots anyway. And I like the Spikes for stuff that resists Stealth Rocks, specifically Melm and Sandaconda. So I'm hoping he can do some good work. And then Taunt. Taunt is there to stop, maybe if I'm feeling really bold, webs from Vikavolt or something like that, or to stop Pex from being annoying. So I'm really liking this Windshear set this week. I hope it does good work. Next up, Serendipity 3 of the Togekiss is coming back with a Kibi Berry set and Serene Grace, Dazzling Gleam, Flamethrower, Roost, and Defog. Max HP, enough defense to take on a +2 Haxorus Poison Jab with my Kibi Berry after Stealth Rock. Enough special attack investment to OHKO that thing with Dazzling Gleam, and then enough speed to outspeed offensive Dragon Dancing Scrafty. Not a +1 obviously, but max speed Jolly Scrafty. I can outspeed this thing and kill it with Dazzling Gleam. Serene Grace is there just for a cheeky Flamethrower. Maybe if Melm tries to come in, Flamethrower, maybe catch a cheeky little burn on it. It'll do a whole lot, especially if he's not Assault Vest. So I really need Serendipity this week to check that Haxorus. It kind of runs me over, especially after a Swords Dance and a Scale Shot or just a Dragon Dance. So I got to be really careful of that. Next up, the win con this week, Disco Daddio. He's back bringing the fun with a Choice Scarf set. Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, Expanding Force, and Trick. His stab kind of just messes up this entire team. Fire Blast and Shadow Ball do a ton to everything, not named like Assault Vest Scrafty. And I'm outspeeding pretty much everything with my Choice Scarf, Blocks 1 Haxorus, or a Choice Scarf Mismagius, or Lele. Shadow Ball does a ton to Lele. Expanding Force is a really cool option to hit Pex. He does have Lele, and I totally think it comes. So if I can get like an Expanding Force off in terrain against Pex, even though I'm just Scarfed, I'm not Specs, Expanding Force is still going to clock that thing. And then Trick is another nice option to go into Pex. I don't super love the option because more likely than not, he's going to be running Black Sludge if he's not Rocky Helmet for Beedrill. So I don't really want to give myself a Black Sludge because I'll chip myself down. But into something like Scrafty, taking Assault Vest, that'd be really cool. Maybe into something like Talonflame or Vikavolt. I mean, I'm most likely going to be clicking moves against those things anyway. But if they want to come in and be aggressive, I can get rid of their boots and give myself some boots, which could be nice, especially if he sets like Toxic Spikes or Stealth Rock with something like Toxapex or Sandaconda. Next up, Thunder Snail. You know he's back, rocking a defensive set this week with Leftover and Storm Drain, Scald, Earth Power, Substitute, and Recover. This is another solid check to Melmetal. Double Iron Bash doesn't do a whole lot to me. This is also a good check to Toxapex. Storm Drain, obviously, I'm eating those Scalds for days and boosting up my Scalds and Earth Powers. Sub is good because if I can get in front of Pex off of like a Scald or whatever, I can sub up in its face before he can Toxic me. Then I can proceed to start Earth Powering and Scalding stuff. Recover just for longevity alongside Leftovers, and then just 8 in speed so that Pex can't like speed creep and outspeed me and get a Toxic off before I can sub up in front of it. I don't want to get a Toxic off on this. Obviously, I don't have Heal Bell or anything this week because I wanted Roost and Flamethrower on Serendipity over Heal Bell. So I got to play that right, and I'm hoping he does good work. I need this thing to shut down Pex, because otherwise that is like super obnoxious for me. I don't really have super effective moves for it this week, except for E-Force on Blaze. So I got to, and Earth Power, but that's not going to do a whole lot. And then last but not least, making his long-awaited debut, we got Shogun the Aggron, rocking a pretty heat set this week. The Custap Berry with the Sturdy ability, Heavy Slam, Rock Blast, Body Press, and Endeavor. This is my kind of answer to Tapu Lele. I'm really hoping, this is like obviously kind of just my answer to it, unless he thinks I have like a lot of special bulk on Thunder Snail. So I'm really hoping he'll predict me to go into this thing against Lele and go for Focus Blast, and I really hope he hits it. It'll bring me down to my Sturdy and activate my Custap Berry, which it moves me to the front of my priority bracket. It doesn't increase priority, so Surge doesn't stop it, and then I can just smash that thing with a Heavy Slam. If that works, I'm a god. If it doesn't, it'll be funny anyway. And I just want to bring Shogun. This is going to be kind of a quick match to get this in. We've both had vacation stuff going on. Endeavor's another cool thing. If he wants to switch out and I can just like knock something down to 1. If it's slow, like Pex or something like that. And then Body Press obviously just does a lot. It's stuff like Scrafty, which wants to come in and lower my attack, because I even uninvested, my defense stat is still crazy. So that's the team we're rocking with this week. Let's hop into this match. Alright guys, we're about to hop into this match against Monk and the Mighty Monfernos. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen. Melmetal, Haxorus, Vikavolt, Tapu Lele, Toxapex, and Mismagius. I could definitely see a few other things coming, that Mega Mane or that Sandaconda. You've seen the 6 I'm bringing and why I'm bringing it. If you haven't, go check out the Teambuilder. But without that, with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Okay, he does bring Mega Mane. No Lele. I don't get that, but I'm totally cool to not see it. We do see Volt. Yeah, we do see Talonflame. We don't see. We do see Mismagius. Definitely not surprised to see that. And what did he else not bring? No Pex. Totally cool with that. I'm very sad because my Aggron tech won't work now. Maybe I can eat like a superpower or a CC from Hax or Melm, so I'm not totally lost yet, which is really sick. But man, I really want to just try to get that cheese to work, that would be so funny. No Scrafty's also really cool. Because really, realistically speaking, I don't know what his answer to Blacephalon is. Mega Mane can't outspeed me. Like, I kind of smacked this entire team. He's got no Shadow Ball resist, and his, like, Fire Blast resist is Haxorus or Talonflame, I guess. Maybe he's, like, specially defensive Talonflame, but I wouldn't expect that. So, I can lead Shogun here fairly safely because I don't need it. Like, and just try to bonk something maybe with a Body Press. I could also, I mean, I don't know what he wants to lead. Mega Mane is a pretty solid lead on his part. But I just, Alright, if he leads Mega Mane, I can go into Thunder Snail. I mean, he probably has Toxic on Mega Mane for Thunder Snail. That's something I have to watch out for. So, with no Lele, I'm just going to lead Larny. If he leads anything slow, I can U-turn out. Or I can threaten really, really hard, because, again, he doesn't have a Dark Resist. So, we'll see how well this works. Alright, he leads Volt. Alright, so I'm Choice Specs on this guy. There's no way he's, like, Choice Scarf or anything. So, I mean, Draco kind of just kills this thing. That's with max HP too. Realistically, I'm just gonna click Draco. I want to see what he wants to do here. I'm gonna dent something probably, or if he stays in and he's like choice scarfed for some ungodly reason, then he's a baller. But I just want to bonk something immediately. I don't really need this thing, so denting something would be awesome. Also, while I'm sitting here talking into the internet world, it's a day late, but it was my girlfriend Shan's 21st birthday yesterday. So everyone in the comment section, wish her happy birthday wishes. Please and thank you. Bonk. Goodbye. Well, 1 turn, 1 kill. Attaboy, Lerny. Yeah, he really didn't have a good switch into that. Even Melm, unless he was like a Soul Vest, would have taken a whole bunch from that. Yeah, Draco would have done over half. And I could have had Flamethrower and thrashed that thing anyway. So yeah, he really didn't have a switch in, especially if I had Flamethrower. I'm really surprised to not see Pex, because Pex would have been fairly safe on that. Just because like he could have eaten one probably if he was Spit F. Also, just no Lele, because with Lele I would have been forced to U-turn because Draco wasn't safe and Dark Pulse did not nearly anything. So I would love to have Volt out of the way, because now Gastro has a better time living his life. No Webs is fantastic. He doesn't have other hazards, so I don't need to worry about that with Defog on Togi. So looking great. Attaboy, Lerny. At this point, I would expect him to go into Melm or Haxorus, just because he now knows I'm Choice Specs, because I clean O-code that thing. And he's a pretty safe setup opportunity here. You can also go into Mismagius and just click Dazzling Gleam, or try to set up with Nasty Plot, which can be scary. Or just go into Talonflame and U-turn out. But if that Haxorus comes in, I gotta go straight into Togi. I gotta hope I got my prediction right on my berry, because he could definitely have something like Rock Slide or Iron Tail that would hit Weezing as well. Or Melm, he can just click Double Iron. Yep, Melm comes out. Just gonna go into Wind Shear here. If he goes for the Thunder Punch, I'm totally cool with that. I can calc some damage on this thing and see what set he is. With no Scrafty, I would expect him to probably be AV. Or maybe like an Iron Defense set. Ooh, Iron Defense could be really scary. I mean, but then Blaze can come in and just kind of smack it. But alright, Wind Shear comes out. There's the Thunder Punch. 70%. Alright, that's a max roll on Choice Band. So I'm safe to just Roost here, because I'll get a little bit more chip. And Thunder Punch won't do nearly as much, so I'm just going to click Roost. No reason not to. He can double out here into Mega Main, throw off a Toxic into the incoming Gastro. But I'm totally cool with that. I now know that he is Choice Banned. Good plan on his part. Probably should have gone into Gastro, because that was kind of obvious, but I'm totally cool with the intel I just got. And I'll get back up to 80% here, which is good for handling this thing later. I can take another banded Thunder Punch if he decides to go that route, because Gastro does resist Double Iron and is obviously immune to... Alright, yep, he goes into Miss Mag this time. He's going to Roost up safely. Right here, I think I want to go into Aggron, just because it doesn't do anything for me. Shadow Ball does a lot to me. How about Aggie? Yeah, I can take one. I can take a +2 one, and then Heavy Slam does a ton. Obviously, I don't need this thing, so I'm just gonna go into Shogun here. I don't think it gets a fighting type move that would let me use the funniness. But honestly, a +2 Shadow Ball has a chance to knock me into my Custat Berry range, which would then allow me to maybe like... Alright, he's just gonna go back into Melm. Alright, well, I'm gonna... Let's see how much Melmetal does to me. Alright, so Double Iron Bash doesn't kill me. Superpower and Earthquake both have a chance to, which would get me in range. Body Press doesn't do anything. Wow, that's really funny. I can go back into Thunder Snail, or I can go into Gastro this time. If he goes for Superpower, Gastro doesn't love taking it. Because even if I body press into the other thing, it won't do a lot. I'm going to go into Gastro this. Because double iron just does so much to me. I'll go back into wind shear. I'll reset that situation. Maybe I get a better roll this time. There's the double iron. Cool with that. He's going to take a lot of chip from helmet. And I have a safe roost again. I'll get back up to 90%. He can go into Mega Man this time. But wind shear is still looking pretty. He'll be at high health. So, attaboy, wind shear, doing your job. Gosh, even to fully physically, I mean, I'm only 248, not like fully physical, but essentially fully physical Skarmory. Double iron still did 40%. That's absurd. Man, Melmetal is an absolute monster. Alright, he's going to go into Talonflame this time. Totally cool with that. He's probably just going to U-turn out here. I'm just going to go safely into Thundersnail. No reason not to. If he wants to go for a Brave Bird or throw off a Toxic, totally cool with that. But frankly, I don't know what he goes into. After this, he could go into Hacks and try to set up. He's going to U-turn. Yep, totally okay with that. If he goes into Haxorus, I have to be really careful. Because I could stay in and Scald and fish for a burn, but if he's Lumberry, I'm kind of in trouble. Not Life Orb. Earth Power is a good chunk. So maybe I'll click that, see what he wants to do. And just a free switch into Togi would be really cool. Especially if he gets like greedy and goes for 2 Swords Dances or something like that. Because then Blaze can come in after and Revenge. Could go into Miss Magius here. I believe Miss Magius gets Energy Ball. Let me check. Yep, does get Energy Ball, so have to be careful of that. If he goes into Miss Magius, I can just go hard back into Aggron. Just because, as I said before, I don't need it. Because he might also go for something like Dazzling Gleam, expecting Hydra to come back out. So, yeah, Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Energy Ball, and then either Nasty Plot or maybe like Mystical Fire for Skarm. The Shadow Ball would still do a ton to me. He does go into Miss Magius. Cool with that. Just gonna go right back into Shogun here. If he wants to double back out into Melm, I'll just stay in this time and go for Body Press. Because then I'll be able to pick up the kill on that. If he goes for Superpower. Or he just gets like not a minimum roll on Double Iron. He wouldn't go for Double Iron again though because Skarm is sitting so free. Could go for Thunder Punch again. Alright, Aggie comes out. Dazzling Gleam, yep. Totally cool with that. I'm just going to fire off a Rock Blast here. If Talonflame wanted to come back in to eat the Heavy Slam. Or this guy can come in. I can go for Body Press. That's a kind of an aggressive play. So I'll just go for Rock Blast here. It's fairly safe. Alright, Melm does want to come in. Alright, should have gone for Body Press, but not the end of the world. And now at this point... Oh, I lost my sturdy. Diggity darn. Alright, well... I'll just go back into Wind Shear, I guess. He can double back out, but I'm cool with that. Because Wind Shear at this point is still completely safe. He can go into Mega Man. Actually, this time I'm going to go into Thundersnail. Because he can double back out into Mega Man, and I think that's what he'll do to try to get some offensive pressure on me. Now he's going to go for Thunder Punch again. Cool with that. And this is totally free for me to just fire off a Scald here. Probably into that Miss Magius lock. I can also set up a sub. Yeah, I'm going to set up a sub here. See what he wants to do. He's locked into Thunder Punch, so obviously he's going to switch out. So this is completely free. I can gauge something. So I like that play. Let's do that. Alright, Hax comes out this time. He's Mold Breaker. I'm just going to fire off an Earth Power. I want to see what this thing wants to do to me. Scale Shot does have the potential to break my sub. Obviously, if he starts setting up, it's kind of spooky. But I can get Togi in for free. If he decides to like kill me or something. Earth Power will do a good chunk. I can gauge what he is if he's Life Orb or if he's like Lumberry. So this is obviously a very spooky situation just because Haxorus is so good and so strong. But I have Scarf Blacephalon sitting in the back, which should be able to pick up the kill after a little bit of chip from Gastro over here. So let's just count that. Let me see. Yeah, Shadow Ball to 66. So after a little bit of chip, after this Earth Power, he can come in totally for free. If he gets up to +2, obviously, in speed, I'm not going to be able to do that. But then Togi can come in, and if he is packing... I mean, I'm fairly defensive invested. So if he's like, if he doesn't decide to Swords Dance, and he's got like Rock Slide, I don't think he would. I think he's probably got... He was Mold Breaker, most likely so he could hit Earthquakes on stuff. Or just like, or close combat through Sturdy on Aggron. But he's probably got EQ for Wheezing with Mold Breaker, which is why I brought Togi. Because now he's got a Poison Jab. And I have my Kyber Berry. So he might not have like Outrage or anything. He could have like Rock Slide, EQ, and Poison Jab and Dragon Dance. Alright, he's going to go for Dragon Claw. He's not Scale Shot, which is cool. He's Leftovers. That's interesting. I'm just going to lick it again. I shouldn't do... I broke my sub. Yeah, Dragon Claw. 2 Gastro. Alright, that'll do under half, and I can get even more chip on this thing. If he wants to mispredict and go for the Poison Jab into Togi and try to burn my berry early, he could do that. But realistically, Gastro I don't super need. It's a decent check to, like a Mega Man, it shuts down, but I just need it to be around for that. All right, he's gonna go back into this guy. Good play. Probably should have gone for Skull that time. I'm just gonna go back into Shogun to eat the Energy Ball. Right, he goes for Shadow Ball this time. 34. That's not a ton. I'm gonna go for Rock Blast again, because if he wants to go back out into that thing, that's cool. But considering he went into it last time, and I went for Rock Blast, he might go for... He might stay in or go into Talonflame, predicting the Body Press or Heavy Slam this time. So I'm just going to go for Rock Blast. Do a little bit of something. If he stays in and Shadow Balls me again, that'll knock me into my Custap range, which will let me do something silly. Maybe just like try to Heavy Slam this thing, or bonk something else. Like maybe put something down to like an Endeavor, get it down to like 20% or so. Or just continually bonk something else. Because I don't believe he should be able to kill me in any way here. I don't see Life Orb. He goes into Melm again. I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to go safely back into Wind Shear. He could go for like Superpower this time, expecting Gastro to come in to eat the Thunder Punch, because that's what I did last time. Or I could just go for Double Iron, because that could has the capacity to do over half to Gastro. But Scorm, super safe. Might get him on the front foot, maybe letting him get into Miss Magius or Mega Man again. But this guy's almost dead, so just a little bit more Helmet Chip. I love that. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, Scarm comes out. Does go for Double Iron again. He's almost going to die. Alright, well, I'm just going to Roost. He can go back. I mean, he can stay in and just let me kill him. But I don't think he'll do that. But this thing's like dead at this point. So I can Body Press into the Manectric coming in, maybe. Or something else. Or just kill this thing. Because Wind Shear at this point has done its job. So let's see. Manectric. Body Press would do over half to that thing. Talon could come in here, and I don't want to Body Press into that, because that wouldn't do a whole lot, and I could potentially get burned. Because burn does affect Body Press. So I'm just going to Roost here, see what he wants to do. He'll probably just go out into Main or Talonflame. And at that point, I'm just cool going back into Gastro. But one more Roost here. Get Wind Shear back up to full. He can safely eat another hit from this guy, which would definitely kill him. Make my next switch in super safe. And it also gets me in a good position against Haxorus, if I want to keep Togi around to help me deal with Miss Magius. Definitely should have brought Super Luck on Togi. That was probably a mistake. Just because, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but like a little bit of cheese would have been cool, and especially since I don't have Air Slash. But That's alright. If a battle doesn't need to have cheese, then it doesn't need to have cheese. I'm not exactly a proponent of RNG messing with stuff. He goes into Talon. Yep. And I'll just go into Thunders now. He can just U-turn again, but I'm cool with that. He's probably a special variant to get past Rocky Helmet and just my big boy defenses. So if he U-turns, he can go into Mismagius. I'm cool with that. I can go back into Aggron. Yep. I'm okay with that. At this point, I just want to play it safe. Just preserve what I can. Alright, Mismagius comes back out. Totally cool with that. Just going to go back into Aggron. He can knock me into my Custap range. Shouldn't have anything that can kill me. At that point, Rock Blast will kill. Yep. Alright, well. Funny. I mean, he can go back into Melm here and just... I'll go for Heavy Slam this time. Yay. Kill. Oh, crit it! I killed him myself! Well, it did something! Yay. Oh man, that's so funny. Let's see what that roll was. Heavy Slam to Mismagius. Okay, yeah, that crit totally mattered. Alright, well, I'm so proud of Aggron reaching deep into his bag of tricks for that one. But I can't say that was totally my doing. That crit definitely mattered. There was no chance that killed. I'm so sorry, Monk, man. But at the same time, let's go, Shogun! No Lele, no problem. He's still out here making moves. Oh man, and that right there. You think Bruxish would have done that? I don't think so. Tier 5 money, baby. Let's go. Alright, Talon's gonna come out here. I'll just go back into Thundersnail. I mean, a U-turn wouldn't kill me here, so realistically, he's got to do something. But he probably knows I want to preserve differential. And at this point, I really don't know what he goes into against Thundersnail, so I'm just going to do that. He's going to Heat Wave. Yep. I eat that all day. And I can just fire off a Scald here. I can also sub up. I like that play. I'm going to sub up. Because he shouldn't be able to do a whole lot to me. Actually, let's see. If he's got, like, Hurricane. I don't even know if Talonflame gets Hurricane. Yeah, so he's invested on this guy. So if he had, like... Let's see. I don't even know if this thing gets Hurricane. Probably gets Hurricane. Yeah. If he's got Hurricane, he could hit it, and it would do a lot to me. But at the same time... Skull doesn't even kill. Yeah, Hurricane does 40% max. I don't think he'd stay in that and take a big Scald. I'm just going to sub up here. Probably just U-turns out. He's probably dual stab, defog, U-turn. But he can also go... Actually, how fast is Melmetal? Not faster than this guy, I don't think. Base 34? Yeah, okay, I can outspeed that. If he wants to come in, unless he's speed invested. He would break my sub, I would still kill that though, and I'm okay with that. That'd be worst case scenario if he was speed invested on Melm, but hopefully he's not. Oh, I can't sub by accident. Oopsies. Alright, he's gonna Heat Wave again. Maybe he's like Choice Scarf this thing for B. And I should be able to recover safely. He's gonna U-turn, not gonna break my sub. Alright, goes into Melm. Cool with that, I'm just going to recover up. And I'll click Scald here. Should be able to pick up the kill on Melm unless he's very speed invested. Nope. Thundersnail's on the board again. Let's go. Alright, well, Hax comes in. Just going to click Earth Power twice. Should be able to pick up the kill on this. He's going to Dragon Dance. That's okay. I'm sitting behind sub. He's got Dragon Claw, not Scale Shot. Yep. Cool. Earth Power away. Attaboy, Thundersnail. Just gonna Scald this guy. Even if your Hurricane shouldn't do a whole lot. You can toss off a Toxic here. He's going to U-turn into Mega Main. That's fine. I'll just Earth Power. If he wants to go into Talonflame, we can play that game. But it should be fine. He shouldn't have anything for me. Let me just double check that he doesn't. No hidden power, obviously. Yep, no Grass Knot. Yeah, he shouldn't be able to touch me, so I'm just going to click Earth Power here. I outsped it, so that means he went for Roar, I guess. Interesting. I don't really know what that was for. Maybe like Iron Defense, Body Pressing, Armory? Maybe? Alright, Talon's going to come back in. 2 Scald should be able to pick up the kill on this thing. That's 1. Oh, burn. That's alright. That's 2. Talonflame's dead. That's a 6-0, and that's what I call a riveting win. Great way to get back into the ISL after the little week 5 hiatus. But GG's to Monk. Sorry again for the crit on Aggron. That was super unfortunate. Even if it was cool tech, if I do say so myself, it shouldn't have killed your Miss Magus. But very stoked about that battle. We're running neck and neck up against the Melancholy Mucks for leading the league right now. But that's a great way to get back into it after a forced 3-0. So thank you guys so much for watching this battle with me. GG's to Monk again. Take care. Peace out. Remember to send happy birthday in the comments. And I'll see you guys next week.